So that's the latest on that. Now, Obama took the dog shopping. Then Obama stopped to get a pizza, which is what Obama always does when the wife is away. He always goes out and eats real food when the cat's away. Now, I have a question. TheHill.com had a story today, folks, on the toughest decision of Obama's presidency, and I am not making that up. I've got that story here in the stack someplace. They are really saying that one of the toughest decisions poor Barack will have to make is whether or not to stay in town or to go on his vacation. I'm looking for it here. It's in the stack here somewhere. I am not. It's in here somewhere. Now, my question about this, I'll make the point while I'm looking for it. Why would Obama's decision, whether to go to Hawaii or not, be difficult? Harry Reid has shut down the Senate, folks, and he's not going to reopen it. Nancy Pelosi has said that she wouldn't send any Democrats to a conference committee to work out a compromise on this. The Democrats have iced any activity in the House. There's nothing more that'll be done on it unless the Republicans cave. So if this is such a slam dunk winner for Obama, and if you've got the Wall Street Journal and the establishment Republicans wetting their pants over this, why even think about not going to Hawaii? As some news reports have it, he can leave early, may even fly out early with Michelle. Well, the Michelle, the kid's already there. But if this is such a slam dunk win, why doesn't he get on that plane and go? Here's the story from a tear. I mean, when I read this, my computer monitor started tearing up. That's what a tearjerker the story is. And it's by a chick, Amy Parnes. President Obama faces a most difficult decision with the payroll tax extension up in the air, and it isn't whether to compromise with the Republicans. The toughest call for the president this holiday season could be whether to join his family for Christmas in Hawaii or stay in lonely Washington. The White House won't say whether the president's heading west for the holidays or even if he's making an abbreviated appearance. This is what it actually says. Even if there's no ideal time for a presidential vacation, this one comes at a particularly inopportune moment. For weeks, Obama's insisted that lawmakers stay in town. I tell you, I burst out crying when I read this. I kid you not. That's exactly what it says. Toughest decision of the year. But again, Harry Reid shut down the Senate, said he's not going to reopen it. Pelosi has said she's not going to send any Democrats to a conference committee to work out a compromise. So the Democrats have iced any activity in the House. So there's nothing more to be done on this unless the Republicans cave. So why not fly off? It's over. Except, again, if this is such a slam dunk winner, what's so hard about the decision? It's over with. The Democrats have iced all activity. Go to Hawaii. Claim victory. Claim victory. Our side says it is one. What's Obama doing taking a dog shopping? He could be on the plane to Hawaii right now. From MSNBC, why we hate taxes. Oh, really? Well, let me read this. Americans are growing increasingly frustrated with our country's federal tax system, but not because we feel overtaxed. No. Most Americans believe the biggest problem with taxes is that wealthy people don't pay their fair share. Right out of the Obama playbook. This, according to poll results published by the nonpartisan Pew Research Center. The feeling of outrage over the privileged classes is growing, according to the poll, which only confirms the widespread anger that has helped fuel this fall's Occupy. This is bogus as anything I have ever seen. The timing is too perfect. I have spent 20 plus years telling people how to detect liberal bias in news stories. I have explained how polls are used to make news. polls and studies done by totally biased news media. Studies are paid for by the government to give liberals on college campus something to do. And here's another example of a poll that is used to trash the rich, a poll that is converted to a news story. At the very beginning of Obama's re-election campaign, why we hate taxes, because the rich aren't paying their fair share. Well, shazam! What a miracle! Look at this, Ethel. Obama's been out there for 6 months, and he's been telling people the rich aren't paying their fair share, and then MSNBC, his network, has got a poll, and it says the same thing, Ethel. Isn't that? Why, that's amazing. It certainly is. It certainly is. How timely and how bogus, how transparently bogus. And now moving on to Time magazine. And before I get to this, let me remind you of some things. I want to give you some headlines from other articles about the rich from Time magazine over the last few months. Ready? Study, the rich really are more selfish. Another, 6-figure parking spots. The rich pay $125,000 to park their cars. You want another one? Most millionaires support higher taxes on the rich. Why the rich shoplift more than the poor. Guess who's most likely to... That's in the money section of Time magazine. Why the rich shoplift more than the poor. Time magazine's universe. The next one, guess who's most likely to strategically default on mortgages? The rich. There are 6, or just 5, recent stories over the last few months from Time magazine about the rich. I guess, Snerdley, your favorite is why the rich shoplift more than the poor? The rich really are more selfish? Now, here's the story. This is from healthland.time.com. Got money? Then you might lack compassion, is this story. Pity the poor plutocrat. Politicians want to tax them. Occupy Wall Street mocks them. 99% of their fellow citizens are mad at them, even if they secretly want to be one of them. Now comes word from the University of California, Berkeley, that that's not likely to send their approval ratings any higher. A new study has confirmed that the richer you are, the less compassionate you are. And don't gloat, you upper middle classers. That includes you, too. In a study just published in the straightforwardly named journal Emotion, psychologist Jennifer Steller sought to determine the empathic capacities of a sample group of 300 college students who had been hand-selected for maximum economic diversity. As a rule, of course, college students of just one income level, poor, which is why they spend so much time writing home for money. Steller thus chose her subjects based on the income of the people who respond to the requests and write the checks, the parents. That whole paragraph to set up the fact that the survey sample here is parents of kids in college. In the first 3 experiments, she had 148 of her subjects fill out a detailed questionnaire reporting how often and how intensely they experience emotions, such as joy, love, compassion, and awe. She also had them agree or disagree with statements like, I often notice people who need help. Such self-reported data ought to be notoriously unreliable, since many of us are likely to respond honestly if our answers make us look like a louse. But personality inventories are a long-standing staple of psychological testing, especially since the scoring is designed to correct for self-flattering grade inflation. So she goes on to describe the methodology and all of this. And she basically found that during compassion, the heart rate lowers as if the body is calming itself to take care of another person. And the rich experience less lowering of their heart rate. The heart rate of the rich, pretty constant. In the final part of the study, 106 of the participants were paired off and told to interview each other as if they were applying for a make-believe position as lab manager. And basically, she concluded that the rich are different. More money, less empathy. More money, less compassion. That's the rich. Time magazine. Now, isn't this timely? So here you have the MSNBC poll from the Pew Research Center that there's widespread disgust with the tax system because the rich aren't paying their fair share. Who's been saying that the last 6 months? And now the rich, the evil 1%, actually have smaller hearts. They have no compassion. The richer they are, the less sorrow they feel. Really, who wants to be rich with all this? Okay, so to review, Time magazine in recent months study the rich really are more selfish. 6-figure parking spots. The rich pay $125,000 to park their cars. Most millionaires support higher taxes on the rich. Why the rich shoplift more than the poor. Guess who's most likely to strategically default on mortgages? The rich. And the richer you are, the smaller your heart. You got money? You have no compassion. I told you yesterday, did I not? Get ready for this onslaught. I told you it's going to be relentless and unstopping. It's going to be ceaseless. And it'll be ratcheted up week after week after week. And the whole point of every one of these polls, the whole point of all these studies, is to make you think that public opinion largely is identical to what Barack Obama is saying. That's the express purpose. That's the whole point of all of this.